There we go.
Just switch
Yeah.
some of those things off. Okay. Ah, I'm actually at one with technology now.
That's good. Yeah, I've been using it. I've been calling on AI there during the week with help for doing the newsletter and stuff. And it's given me great ideas, but it's still it's getting the old gray cells working. And
Yeah,
it's kind of
the interesting thing is if it's used for that rather because some people I've seen it so much now online that people are using it to literally because oh yeah a soul playlist oh fantastic and it's just AI generated twonk it's just like soulless rubbish okay the
yeah, yeah,
music
yeah, yeah.
okay so instead of using it to
Well,
replace creativity if you're using it to identify opportunities and avenues
yeah,
for a creative mind is
that's it.
another matter entirely. That's
Yeah,
where it becomes really expensive.
yeah. It's about collaborating with it rather than exchanging
Yeah,
something.
it's
Because I mean,
because
the ideas that I've been getting from it, I would never have thought of it. One, the first thing again, I was having second thoughts about the newsletter. I'm wondering, am I wasting my time? Is it going anywhere? Am I just keeping myself
yeah,
busy? So I got on the AI and I said, this is my idea. This is what I want to do and what I want to achieve. Am I wasting my time, or do you think it's a good idea? Has it got legs? Can it move? Oh, they came back and they said, absolutely. You can do boom, 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 boom. And it's like, whoa. And, this is how you can start. And, we were talking before about Substack.
mm,
So they recommended Substack or the same sort of platform to go on that and to get a subscription going. And it's like, wow, it, I'd have never have thought of that, you know?
exactly. It's how can I put it? It's a bit like a sort of if it's used as like a user interface
Yeah,
rather than a because let's face it, it's made up of the same algorithms that we're battling against
yeah,
if you like if you want to get to a greater audience on something like Facebook or whatever it is, whatever platform it is, okay, you're actually using an algorithm to crack the algorithms. So it's
yeah,
talking its own language, basically.
yeah, yeah. And it's for me, there was something in the men's group there. I was out with one of the lads there the other day, and I can't remember what it was we were doing. But I was saying, see, there's two ways. There's the easy way, and then there's the hard way. And I'm saying, a lot of the time, I'm picking the hard way to do something rather than picking the
Yeah.
easy way. And it's like I need to sort of change that mindset and say, no, get into doing it the easy way. It's and again, it was coming to like programming. That like my parents, they would have struggled, and it would always be like it wasn't hard, it wasn't worth it. And Susie was the same.
Mm.
Some of the painting that she did, magnificent. But she said it was too easy. So there was no, and it's like, but the detail that she had in the flowers and everything, and she was saying, oh, no, no, no interest, it's too easy.
But it's
She,
it's like this. It's like the sort of it goes into so many other areas of life after you say that, because it's that sort of guilt mentality. Like
yeah,
if you haven't had to struggle with it, it's not worth doing.
yeah,
And shortcuts are cheats.
yeah,
It's that sort
all
of
of
that
this
sort
stuff.
of do not cheat mentality. That
Yeah,
and to be quite honest with you, I suffer. Everybody suffers from it. I suffer from it especially because if I suddenly go, oh, I make a writing, and I just think, whew, that was good to do, but
yeah.
I'm probably just doing it for the sake of doing it, And then sort of the guilt mentality comes in and goes, well, don't normally write like that, so it's obviously got to be crap, hasn't it?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the same thing again, like what you were saying about the stories, something that was coming naturally to you. that you were having the thought flow for the stories with your grandchildren, and like your son was saying, "Oh God, you could do boom, 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 boom. We could do this and that and that, that, that," and you were thinking, "Well, all I'm doing is telling a story."
Yeah.
You don't see the value in that. It takes other people to say, you could make money doing that, or whatever the case. You
Yeah,
don't.
exactly. And to be quite honest with you, on the stories, that's on hold at the moment because my son's on holiday from work,
Yeah,
and every day they're taking the kids out somewhere because the kids are off school on school holidays.
right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
basically, yesterday they went to Duxford, the World War II Air Museum.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and I have to tell you, okay, I went there with my son Josh, crikey, 20, probably 25 year ago. And we used to come back in the summer and I go, "Right, okay, off we go. Let's go down to Duxford." Because my old man used to volunteer down there to work on the planes. So they
Mm.
refurbish all the planes and everything at that time. I don't know what they do now. But and so they went there. Anyway, when I was down there last 25 year ago, there in the grounds of this air museum, like sort of World War II and post World War II stuff, sort of typical museum stuff, peripheral stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a little prefabricated bungalow, and it was exactly the design round the corner from me as a kid, as a young kid. I used to go around and see my auntie who lived in one of these, and they had an aluminium kitchen made out of bits of aeroplane. Okay, and I had a fold down table, and I used to sit there eating bacon sandwiches on a Sunday
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
morning. Anyway, so long story short, I told Josh all about this. Sends me a photograph from Duxford yesterday. It's still here, Dad. And yes, you are a fossil.
Yeah.
but, but yeah, it is. How can I put it? It's just like sort of. It's a wild situation now for me because I'm not telling the stories, but I'm finding I'm sitting here and my mind needs application on something I didn't realize what I was thinking about before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was thinking, I don't want to disappoint the kids. I don't want to disappoint the kids. Now, I want to have an exciting story, which because the whole idea of the story is to give them something like an adventure where they can just lay and then go to sleep and dream about it. The
Mm.
best of all scenarios was, look, it happened a while ago, a couple of months ago, and I was telling a story, and my son Josh and his wife Catherine, they were there with the three kids, all sort of tucked up under blankets and stuff like that. And I told the story. I got to the end of the story. And I said, right, okay, that's it. Are the kids asleep? And silence. Oh, all right, okay. They're obviously getting them to sleep or something. So I put the phone down and everything. I got a message about 20 minutes later said, we went to sleep as well. And that's the whole essence of the stories, it's just like that sort of the go to sleep thing. Because I've got my son tells me anyway, I've got that sort of voice. If I tell a story, and I'm sort of it's like sort of exciting but sort of sleepy time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
said, "You just look," and I said, "Oh, all right." So I've been thinking about those stories. So what I'm starting doing this week is I'm going to put some stories down, record them on my phone,
Brilliant.
and just put some stories down, just and then watch them back and just see if they're worthwhile. And if there's anything in there that's halfway good, I'll send it over to the kids and just say, look, you give me an honest critique of this.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because the eldest grandkid is going on and on about it now. He really is. Come on, Greta, we've got to do those stories. Got to do those stories.
Yeah. And it's good because it keeps you, I suppose the one thing again that as we age, the most important thing is to keep the mind active and to keep that creative part of itself active. And a lot of people, a lot of old people, they just, I suppose with the medication as well that people are on, they're like a vegetable or they're just sitting there with the mouth open, uh, that they're not engaging with anything. And it's a bit like what we were talking about there the other day. Like I had to sort of push myself to get out. I was saying, "Will I go to such and such or won't I?" And I said, I was really, I was kind of saying, "No, no, no, I won't go. I'm sitting here and it's fine." And I said, "No, get up and get out." And I did, and I had a great evening, and I was the better for getting up and getting out. But I was getting so easy just to. mm, and have to
Yeah,
meet people and have to talk and
I,
stuff, you know.
I find myself like that at the moment. Last week or so, I've been sort of so going out. No, no, I can't. I don't actually have to go out, so I'll just
Yeah,
stay. Everything's good. Everything's good. Everything's good.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, and
yeah.
it's a big tell the other day that I found. I suddenly thought, whoa, hold a second, this isn't right. Uh, I renewed my car insurance. Okay, and I said, okay, I'll what because I was renewing my car insurance. I thought, okay, let's track how many miles I need to put down on it. You know,
Yeah,
how many because I'm closer to the family now, so I won't be doing the long journeys and all the rest of it. I looked at it and I thought, in the last month, I've only used sort of extrapolating from the petrol now. I've only used about uh 15 quid's worth of petrol. I thought, what's that? That's like sort of what, a couple of gallons. I've done like 125 miles. I just thought, I'm not going out enough.
yeah.
I'm sitting on my fat backside, and I'm not going out enough. I'm not going to those nice places. The other
Mm,
day, I took a walk up the road. Literally, I could see it from here, the spire of the local church. Beautiful old places, built in God knows when, probably originally back in 1600s.
mm.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful wooden spire church. And I just sort of took a walk up there. I was going up the shop. I'll take a walk. I just sat down in the churchyard. And it was lovely, you know. And it's just that thing. You get into this. Uh, I don't know. It's because I suppose it's because my creative mind isn't ever conscious. If you see what I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not conscious about. I'm being creative today.
Yeah, yeah,
I've got a feeling I should do this. It
yeah,
doesn't strike me like that. So I suppose really it's sort of the non-creative mind is just saying, okay, just you're okay here. So just tick it
yeah, yeah,
over. Uh,
yeah. Because
that is
it's when you're out in, yeah, it's when you're out in nature or at these places that the creative mind kicks in and
that's when
all
it
of a
all
sudden it's like,
happens. That's
yeah,
when I smile the most as well. You know,
yeah, brilliant.
sometimes I could just sit there and just smiling to myself, and I'm sure that people come
Yeah,
past and say, look, at that mad bloke on the bench again.
yeah,
I'm sure he talks to himself because he's always smiling.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I went down to Killarney there the other day, and it's 2 hour drive.
Hmm.
And it was nice. Well, it was a lot of it. An hour of the journey is back roads, small little roads.
Hmm.
And I suppose I find that people nowadays, God, they fly along the road, where
Oh God.
I'd be just putting along, and so I find it uncomfortable. But I got through it anyway, and I went down to Killarney and it was grand. And the place that I'm coming out onto the main road, and there in front of me is a deer, side of the road. There's the town. Bang, the deer's practically in the town, and is up on his hind legs, eating leaves off the bushes. I think, man, that in itself was worth the trip coming down here
Yeah.
just
Just
to
a
see that, you know.
lovely thing to see.
Yeah,
Uh,
because I mean, the amount of people that would have walked past that and not seen that deer,
yeah.
you know, and
They're just they're living in their own little bubble,
it's it.
and all this stuff is like it's effectively going on to a lot of people behind closed doors. They don't think about, oh, there's a lot of deer around here, I'm sure, or
Yeah,
isn't that lovely? Look, that mother's got foals and stuff like that. Just
yeah, yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is just. amazing what people miss.
Yeah.
And like you say, it does make your day because it's sort of suddenly you go back to the fact, oh yeah, I'm on the earth and I'm
Mm.
looking around myself. That's what I love about, like, today's another beautiful sunny day. It's what I love about sunny days because the colours pop and and you don't spot things, you spot movement. So because and I like that. You just see movement in a hedgerow. You look over, it's, oh yeah, there's a bird there. Look.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're talking about, I've got, it's a yew, not a yew. It's one of the pine trees. You know the pine trees that you see in the graveyards, the
Yeah.
straight up ones. There's one of them just outside the window, and there was ivy growing up the middle of it, and so the tree itself was dying because the ivy was taking it off.
Hmm.
So at the start of the summer, I chipped away the ivy and made a block so that the ivy would, so the ivy is dying. But I'm just looking there at one of, there's a branch coming out like that, and there's a little robin sitting on the rock, and it's just sitting there, and it's like, man, I sat there for about 10 minutes, and I was just sitting there looking at the robin. It's like,
But the
shit.
thing is, there's a story behind that. As I've said before, I was told that Robin used to come and see me when I was down at the local country park, and the
Yeah, yeah,
lady always said to me, she said, "Oh, it's a loved one who's
yeah,
passed
yeah, yeah,
away. Come back to visit you. Just check you're
yeah, yeah,
okay
yeah,
and say
yeah,
hello."
yeah,
And it's just lovely little spotting things like that. It's just
yeah,
movement in the corner in your eye, and you realise what's there. Because we go around with our blinkers on.
yeah.
So I'm going up to the shop now. I need to buy bread and milk. Okay. So on the way there from here, if I have to drive up there now because there's a hill. But you go up there and it's like sort of it's nice. It's like a little sort of housing area here, and
Mm.
then you go up this road. On one side of it is it's like a sports field, and then trees and hills and stuff like that. And on this side is like old cottages and things. Then you get to the top of the high street, and it's all like old beamed buildings. It's a lovely place, this
Mm.
little village. Um, but all of that stuff on a daily basis, minute by minute basis, people don't even see it. There's one guy over here who's just recently moved in. I think he was one of the immigrant guys who's been housed up here. And he's a nice guy, He's a nice guy. He always says good morning and the rest of it. But you see him go up the shop each morning. He's like that with a phone in front of him. Dun, 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 dun. And he walks
Yeah.
up to the shop and he comes back. And you see him on his way back and he's got a carrier bag, but he's still got his head in his phone. And I just thought, you don't see anything about what's going on. How can you be? That's when creativity starts, when you
Yeah.
realize what's around you.
Mm.
And not everybody's. They say not everybody's creative. Everybody is creative, but they're just
Yeah.
creative in a different way.
Yeah, we have to find our own expression of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and we go through life, or I've found it anyway. And that might be completely different for you. It often is for other people, but uh, you go through. I went through life, and creativity wasn't the thing that was demanded of me in my daily life. I was
Mm.
out there earning money to keep the family and have a nice time with the family and all the rest of it. If the family were happy, everything was good in life.
Yeah, yeah.
So creativity for crikey 35 years got put to one side.
Mm.
I was always creative as a kid, as a teenager, as a young man, but then daily life got in the way, as it were, and
Mm.
so then suddenly I found myself sort of, I can be creative again,
Mm.
and it's quite nice
Yeah.
because I envy, don't envy, but I applaud the people that find something they love and do it for a living.
Yeah.
Like when you see these carpenters and or painters or whatever it
Mm.
is, they're creating something. Which,
Beautiful.
wow, must be lovely to get up in the morning and just do that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, that's where I in my early days working as a chef, like I really enjoyed it, and I'd stay all day and work. I'd
Yeah.
do the day shift and the night shift. And I'm thinking, sure, what else am I going to do tonight? I may as well. I'm thinking, it was only when I was getting to the stage I didn't that I didn't enjoy it. Like even when I was on the cruise ships, it just became it was monotonous and it was all about the
Yeah.
numbers and having the right numbers and
And
to
it,
me
it
that
just it,
wasn't
it
what it
just
was.
becomes like sort of muscle
Yeah,
memory. You're just doing it because that's what you do each day. You're not doing
yeah,
it
yeah,
because you're enjoying it each day.
yeah, yeah. And it became said, no, it's like after 6 months you're just a robot, and I had to give
Mm,
myself a challenge, to keep myself occupied and busy. But it took the joy out of it. And the same, like when I was working in the restaurant with Susie, originally, like I was doing the front of house. And I was enjoying it and I was having fun with the people that were coming in and all that. And when I got to the stage where I was telling the guests to fuck off, it was like, time to go. This ain't fun anymore. And it's like, yeah,
get out of
but
the way. The train's coming through.
yeah, 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 yeah. But then, of course, then I'm thinking, Jesus, now what am I going to do? And I suppose since that time, I've been looking for something that could give me that passion, that will bring that passion back out again. And for a short period of time, the wells, the whole idea of the holy wells was really stroking up my imagination. And then it was kind of, mm, when it comes to trying to get the handle on Canva and trying to get pictures over there, it's over here, and it's like, then
Yeah.
passion is gone out of it. Uh,
I know what you mean because I've got a bank of probably crikey terabytes of storage of photographs. And
yeah,
sometimes what I've done is I have a habit of doing this, being a sort of an avid photographer. I'll take I want to take a photograph, I look at it and it's just so. That moment is just so. And you're
mm,
desperate to capture that moment. So what I do is I put it on like auto. So it will take 3, 5, or 7 shots in a row.
all right.
Okay. And you go literally, and you just point it going. So
Mm,
it was used originally in sports photography, so you could catch that frozen moment in time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I would do that. So I've kept all of those. Now I go back to them now, and I have no feeling about which is the best one. Okay.
Right.
For ages, for years, I've been trying to cull them. Okay, because I know that on average I've probably got out of 300 photographs, probably 200 of them could be culled. The rest
Yeah.
can be kept. Only about a 30% rate. And out of those, probably only 1% is if you like worthy of by saying, "Oh, I like that photograph. It's a good." That day, I was happy. I was lucky enough to take a good photograph. So, but I can't get down to it. I'd start it, and it just seems like an insurmountable task. And it's just like the creative end of photography to go click, click, click. Oh, wow. What a lovely moment in time. And that's what set me thinking about the Pics and Poems thing, was
Yeah, yeah.
how I felt. Click. Oh, I love that photograph. Why do I
Mm,
love that photograph? Oh, because this. I took one of a place called the Mill Hotel in Sudbury where I was living before, and it's just an old mill. It's been turned into a hotel many years. Not been a working mill for over 100 years, I think. Uh, but it was a nice old place. It's got the mill pond there still, and the willows and all the rest of it. I just took a photograph, and in the background there's cows and the swans on the mill pond and everything else. And I wrote a poem about it, and that poem just reminds me how it felt when I took that photograph. Now, my emotional content in the rest of them, well, not the rest of them, but the vast majority of them, is lost to me now
yeah.
because I didn't record the event. Uh, so I can't get round to it. It just seems like this is a faff. Don't know what I'm doing.
Mm.
Uh, like I was trying to select photographs once again. I'm on this Pickfair thing, which is basically another one of these like sort of the Canva pictures and stuff like that.
All right, yeah,
Uh, yeah, so Pickfair is one, and it's basically just they'll go with third party vendors. So people order through Pickfair. You set up your website within it, and then they if somebody wants to order, oh, I like that, I'll
yeah,
order
yeah,
that in a canvas, or I'll order it in a picture, framed picture or whatever. Then they go to third party vendors. Blah blah blah. Long story short, but I'm just sort of going through that, and I just think, it just leaves me cold. What do I do?
mm,
Do I? Because that's the closest thing I can find to taking away that pedantic. I suppose in my mind I call it bullshit. Where I just want to put the pictures up there. If somebody likes them and want to buy one, fantastic. You know,
yeah, yeah,
I don't want to go through all that. I'm not a businessman. I just like taking photographs.
yeah. And I suppose like that too. You need to have a different mindset to monetize these things.
Yeah, and I've got to do it I've got to take it in my mind. This is me, my twisted mind working here.
Mm,
I can't see it as people buying the photographs. Otherwise, it destroys it in my head, in my heart.
yeah,
I've got to
yeah,
see it as, oh, somebody loves my picture.
yeah,
It means something to somebody. Fantastic.
yeah. I suppose that's why it's good to have somebody else monetize it for you because they have no emotional feeling around these things. They
Yeah,
just say, "Oh, that's good."
that might be that very thing that you
Mm,
highlighted to me in other conversations about when we had a discussion about my son said, "Oh, we do this, we do that, we do that."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That might be exactly what he meant. Let me take this what to you is like the pedantic bullshit out of the way.
yeah,
You just get on with taking your photographs, writing your poems, and doing this and doing that, and with the
yeah,
stories as well. He said, just sort of come up with an avatar for the kids. We renamed the kids because I obviously don't want to name them
yeah, yeah,
in the stories. So we renamed the kids and did this like quick avatar thing just online, just for shits and giggles, and it
yeah,
came
yeah,
out really nice. So once he's finished with this week of holidays and stuff like that, then he said he'll get down to it. But yeah, so that is it. That's the essence of the partnership, I think, that he's suggesting.
yeah,
Actually, you just sprung that up in my mind. What am I worried about? You know, he's at home with computers. He grew up with the damn things.
exactly. Yeah, because I mean, it's the same. I suppose it's something that I've been sort of looking for as well. Uh, I used to find not regret, but it's that Susie couldn't do stuff with me. That she had no interest in what I was doing,
Hmm.
especially when I was doing stuff around holistic therapies and stuff like that. She'd just say, "Ah, you're doing another one of them," and it was that kind of thing, rather than somebody who say, "Ah, yeah, we could do this and that, and we'd be good."
Hmm.
So bounce ideas off you, and where like I helped her with the restaurant because it's a business that I knew, and I knew she needed help. She never asked me for it, but I knew that she needed it,
Yeah.
and so I gave it to her. But something that she had said to me before was that she never wanted to feel, or at the end of the day, she didn't want me to say, because of her, I didn't do such and such. So she sort of allowed me to get on, but she didn't
Yeah. Just
she
gave
didn't
just
have
gave
any
you free
opinion
reign.
towards
Let you get on with it. Yeah.
yeah. But she had no opinion towards helping me or opinion
Hmm.
to she just said, another one of them things.
To be quite honest with you, that's quite a lovely thing for somebody to do because my missus, she was always very spiritual, and
Mm,
I was like as spiritual as a house brick in a box.
yeah,
As far as I was concerned, emotions. I was like a bag of rocks when it came to emotions and stuff like that. But so she was very spiritual, but she used to encourage me massively when because I was into cars and rebuilding them, and then in photography and stuff like that. She said, you know, you seem wound up. Why don't you? And this is her words, not mine. She said,
Yeah, yeah,
why don't you get your camera, get in the car, and fuck off on the day out?
yeah.
I said, well, yeah, I know, but it's the weekend, and I want to spend some time with you. She goes, I'll be fine. Go and do what you need to do.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And it was just, I felt like I was cut free, you know. It's just sort of, thought, I can go and
Mhm.
do what I like now. I can be Ken, not dad or husband.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I can be Ken. Uh, so that was lovely. So I think what she was doing with you was very, very similar. It was born out of heart. Uh,
Yeah, but and that was the one thing, like with Susie as well, was that their values and their way of thinking was completely different to our way,
yeah,
or to my way. Uh, and especially a lot of the early years was lost in translation. And so there was never that deep conversation with understanding what motivates somebody and what,
yeah. You came from different places and different
yeah,
environments and different
yeah,
situations, didn't you?
yeah, absolutely. And it was, yeah,
Thing
I
is,
suppose that,
if you think a bit like this, because you sound like there's a bit of regret in there, okay, for that reason. But
yeah,
if you think about it, what you learned about each other was much deeper learning than somebody like me and my wife. We came from similar places, just like
yeah, yeah.
20 miles away from each other, you know. And our age was like 4 days apart. Okay, I
Mhm.
was the 24th of October, she was the 28th of October, same age, you know. And so you and your lass were learning much deeper things about each other. It was deeper learning because ours were just like we just clicked with okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah,
But what you were doing, you were learning and adjusting to a completely different way of thinking, and that broadens
yeah,
you as a person. It really does.
yeah. But I suppose like that too, there was no intimacy,
Hmm.
um, and there was no tactile stuff, So I mean, dancing and there was none of that,
Oh,
which
really?
yeah, yeah, which I kind of missed, like because there was some of our friends. Remember, we were over in Thailand, and some of our friends. We were in this jazz pub, and our friends, all of a sudden, two of our friends are up dancing, and I said, Susie, come on, we go dancing. And she's like, mm. So I had to go dancing with our friends to get that enjoyment, that you just,
Yeah, I must admit,
uh,
I used to love letting my hair loose and just getting on a dance floor, dance like nobody's
yeah, yeah.
watching, and
Ah,
just
yeah,
enjoy the
brilliant.
music.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I suppose it's things like that that I missed. And it's
But the thing is, there was a great thing that I received it this morning. One of my old friends, uh, Mohammed El Shatter, uh, Egyptian guy that I know, he sent me this thing this morning, and it said, "Don't ever regret what went on in the past,
mm,
because it was just a building block about who you are now, of who you are now."
yeah,
And I thought, yeah. And then the little note at the bottom of it, directly from Muhammad, this is obviously a quote of something, but at the bottom of it, he said, and also don't forget that you were, hold on a second. What did he say? Shit, back to it. Oh, yeah, he said, remember that the decisions you made then were correct because it could never have gone a different way because it didn't.
yeah. Oh yeah, and there's words of wisdom there.
Yeah, it is. But it's gonna. We can look back and we can. I've got elements of regret about certain things, but I never blame myself for it. So, okay, well, I made a
Mm.
decision based upon the information at the time and my
Oh yeah,
heart as well as my head at the
yeah,
time. So, well, I lost everything. at the end of it all, I just thought, oh well, I obviously thought I was too bright, or I was brighter than the other fella, and he was obviously brighter than me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's I think you don't achieve anything by having regrets. I mean, it's once the milk is out of the bottle, you can't get it back in again.
That's
You know,
it.
it's gone.
Yeah, yeah. It, and,
You
and
know?
and you wouldn't be the person you are now if you didn't have those exact set of circumstances. You'd be somebody different, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And
I've come to terms with the fact now that I am who I am, and I don't. These days, I really don't give a shit whether people like me or not. If you don't like me, don't go away. I'd
mm,
rather talk to people who do like me. Or if you don't like me and you want to debate me, fantastic. If it's something I want to debate, great. If it's
yeah,
something just you want to debate, then piss off. I'm not interested.
back off.
It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
who cares?
yeah,
There was
absolutely.
a great quote. I can't remember who it was from, but it was somebody very famous and very intelligent. And said, when you go into when you go into a room full of strangers, okay, and you're worried about how you look and how they'll see you,
Yeah,
realize that they're thinking exactly the same thing
same
about
thing.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody's more worried about how they appear and how they are perceived rather
exactly. Yeah,
than
yeah, yeah,
just being themselves.
yeah. Yeah, it's a part of the human frailty, I suppose. Is that most people would be viewing life like that. From
Yeah.
an insecurity part.
My counterpart on well, sort of counterpart on Catherine's side, her side of the family, it's
Mm,
my son's wife. So basically, my son's outlaws. But he's not her father. He's her sort of stepfather. But
mm,
he's never had kids, and so he basically was horrible to Josh and her when they were home there recently. And then he started shouting at the kids. And he was saying, "Oh, you've never made anything of your life." And this is, Josh and Katie were telling me all about it.
mm.
It was really insulting. He said, "Never made anything, never been a success at anything." Da, 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 da. And I said to Josh after I thought about it for a while, I said, that's his issues because he was an investment banker and retired early. He's got pots of cash, but that was it. I said all his issue now is the fact that all that money seeking, the money game, was
Yeah,
all that drove him. He's never been party to the fact of having kids and stuff like that. So, I can understand where he's coming from. But when his sole driver has been money, when he sees other people, he thinks they're
yeah,
making mistakes and they're not being successful. But what they're actually like, my son's got this job in this warehouse, like I told you, but he
yeah,
spends time with his family.
yeah. This is it, and of course he's probably got regret in saying, "Oh, I don't have that. I never had that."
Yeah.
And for him, it was all about, it's kind of justifying why he made the decisions that he made. He felt
Yes.
that everybody else should be doing the same. And how
Yeah.
dare you think differently and think that money is no good and da 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 da.
Yeah. And, and the guy's 70 years old. He's not going to change anytime soon, is he?
No, no, that's true. Okay.
But honestly, there are certain people in my life who, friends, there are certain people in my life, I include you in amongst them, okay,
Mm,
that I respect for the fact that they're themselves, you know, and they're
mm,
quite honestly themselves, and they just speak as they find. And I know that if I'm being a dick at any point in time, uh, there will be the people that 99% certain stare and say, "Ken, look, so stop being a dick," right? but sort of, uh, we can all gather around as yes men or yes
yeah,
people in this day and age. They have to be yes people now. Uh,
yeah,
oh no, they might identify as horses, won't they? No, yes beings. But all we do is it's not my phrase, but somebody else's phrase. But it's just in an echo chamber.
Yeah.
I'm good, aren't I? Yes, 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 yes. It just echoes around you. I don't like to be there. I like things to tax me a little bit more than that.
I suppose just what you, I think I would have liked, I suppose I was going through stuff, maybe going through is the wrong word, remembering, and I suppose like that too, because it was Susie's anniversary there the other day, all of these old, and mainly situations where I was misbehaving or I was bad
Yeah,
behavior. And that I would have liked to have somebody to say, hang on there, fella, you're out of order. And where nobody reined me in. And because nobody reined me in, I I went further than
I would. But the thing is, you continue along that path because you've got no other knowledge that says otherwise, have you? Like you say, if you've got somebody
yeah,
rein you in, at least you've got a checkpoint. Go, oh, hold on a second, perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps this
yeah,
isn't quite right. But as far as you're concerned, the world's telling you, oh, this is all right.
yeah,
Just keep on,
yeah.
keep on keeping on.
Yeah, I suppose I mean the one thing about on the ships, on the cruise ships was that there was a lot of this backbiting and animosity
Hmm.
towards people. Now, not all of the time, but a lot of the time. So you kind of had to watch what you were saying and what you were doing.
It's like almost like a
Um,
village mentality, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. And I just used to say, oh, fuck them. But it's kind of so I would have pushed things to the limit, especially with drinking. The next thing you know, the chef was drunk there the other night and he was doing this and that. They're writing reports about me back up to the office, and I say, fuck that, you know. That's fine.
You've got anything better
But
to do with your lives.
yeah, but there was definitely times though I would have liked, and I suppose like that too, that where I didn't rein myself in, and a lot of the time I knew better, and I, you know, it's kind of situations like that. I mean, there were
Yeah,
times,
I suppose one way to phrase it is I've got certain instances like that where I disappointed myself in
yeah,
hindsight.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah,
I know I'm better than that, so why
yeah,
didn't I know it then?
yeah, yeah, and that's exactly it. Yeah, you know, and it's. I suppose this is a bit where, like you said, we've got to forgive ourselves and say, well, look,
Yeah. It might have been completely right at the time. It might have been a discovery mode. Let's see how
yeah,
far if I push it in this direction, how far can I get?
yeah,
And then you learn so much about other people as well as about yourself in those
yeah,
situations. Because the times I've come tumbling down, I fell off my high horse,
yeah, yeah,
as I put it, uh, and sort of hit rock bottom, and I've gone suddenly gone, actually, A, they've got a point, and B, they're not so squeaky clean themselves.
yeah, yeah,
I'm not just me being a dick around here; it's everybody being a dick in
yeah,
their own
yeah, yeah.
particular way.
Yeah, and that's it. And I suppose like that too. It's not exactly what kids and teenagers do. You know, they push the boundaries and see how
Yeah,
far they can go with
because
it. You know.
everybody needs to sort of prescribe lines, as it were, because it's the
Mm,
only way. Because we've been gifted with this wonderful thing called the mind, the brain, and
yeah,
it's so expansive that you could go off and do anything you wanted. But
yeah,
going back to my dad again, put a man in a field with a bow and an arrow, da, 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 blah blah blah. So if no targets. And
yeah,
the way you develop the targets or the lines is by pushing it in one direction or another direction and just
yeah,
seeing what happens when you get there. And so it's,
yeah.
just like being on the ships, for one thing, is so out of most people's comfort zone
Mm,
that as far as they're concerned, you're on the edge of the universe. Yeah. You know? So you're already sort of pushing the lines, going, okay, well, yeah, I'll go on the ship, see what happens. Okay, I'll go and do this, see what happens. There are so many people in their sort of fear capsule that just say, "Oh, I couldn't try that; it might go horribly wrong." as my dad said to me when we first went overseas, he said, "Oh, go and try it." He said, "If it doesn't work out, come back."
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. And like you said, so many people would have said, oh, you know, scary, scary stuff, you know?
But you look at them now, like me. I used to come back in the summer every once in a while. I'd come back in the summer on holiday, and I'd sort of straight up a conversation with like somebody I used to see down the pub or down the shops or whatever, and it was like there wasn't 360 odd days in between the conversation. It was like we sort of picked up where we left off. Because as
Yeah,
far as his world is concerned, at the end of the road or the edge of the town, it's like it
yeah,
says here there be dragons. You don't go over there, you'll fall off the edge of the planet.
yeah. That's it.
But
Yeah, yeah.
it's interesting because you learn this thing, you learn so much about other people in finding out about yourself. That's
Mm,
that's that's why, in terms of regrets, I've got loads of regrets, but
mm,
I give them the time of day like I would give, oh, I just trod on an ant, you
yeah,
know. Okay, yeah, it happened, but there's nothing I can do about it now. So let's how do I feel now? Yeah, what am I doing now? You know?
yeah. Move on.
So I'm learning gradually, but it's taken me 65, nearly 66 years to learn that much.
Mm,
That's the problem. If it's the old comic. There used to be a comedian back in the 70s. He used to say this a lot. He said, "Oh, I wish I was 17 again because I knew everything then." If I could take myself now up here and in here, I
yeah,
could
yeah,
take that me back to when I was, I don't know, 19 or 20, then it would have been amazing. But then again, I wouldn't known or have the true learning, if you see what I mean. I'd have the
yeah.
information. It's a bit like having, a 6 terabyte hard drive, but not knowing what the
Yeah,
information means.
yeah, and I suppose like that too, not knowing that's what makes the journey interesting,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like, I suppose, listen to my father because he'd be the type of person. What would you go over there for? He'd just say, don't. He'd be exactly that person. There'd be dragons there. Don't go there. Uh, and I suppose like every time I go out to visit him, that's what I'm getting. It's like, what did you do that for? And it's like, why would you? Because he doesn't get that at all. But still, at the same time, he's waiting there for somebody else to entertain him.
Hmm.
His life hasn't moved, but he wants somebody else to entertain him. And it's like, you need to create your own stories. And it's like,
Hmm. It's,
but
it's, it is strange because there are some people, like my dad, okay, he did a lot while he was in the Paris and all the rest of it, but he was
mm,
never an adventurous man on a daily basis. His creativity was in his garden. He used to love growing vegetables. He
yeah,
said, I can think about the whole of the world, the universe, and everything while I'm digging the ground and
yeah, yeah,
helping them grow and stuff like that. But if you look on the face of it, he was never a successful man in a lot of people's eyes. He was quite happy with being on a bicycle. He used to have motorbikes, but he never went up to a car and said, "No, I can't be bothered with all of that. I'm quite happy with my
yeah,
bike," because it would limit where he would go and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody would look in and go, "Oh, hold on a second, this guy's like sort of
Mm,
the definition of insanity, doing the same thing all the time." But that's where he was happy because he'd done his stuff early.
yeah.
He'd been in the Paras. He'd signed up to the Paras, or he didn't know he was signed up to the Paras at the time. They only developed it afterwards. But
Mm,
when he was 14 years old, he lied about his age. I went into the armed forces during the war, and so off he goes, 14-year-old, and then he spends God knows how many years in the Paras, traveling the world, going from battle to battle and stuff like that.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, he ended up in North India and the Lebanon and
Mm.
places like that after the war. So he did all that early on. So he'd learned all that stuff. He'd been around Eastern philosophies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he'd learned all that stuff. By the time he came back, he was quite happy with a factory job
Yeah.
and bring up the kids as best he can,
Yeah.
feed them well with stuff out of the garden and stuff like that. And it's just like sort of. So we all really need to. Everybody needs to respect the position they're in and not judge themselves by other people's standards.
Yeah. I suppose that's where that saying came from. You know, get out there and sow your wild oats. You know, get out and travel the world and
Mm,
do everything that you need to do, and then when you come back, this is what you'll be doing, or you know, whatever makes you happy, because
mm,
you'll realize, yeah, life is all about doing something that makes you happy, that's
yeah.
rewarding to you, you know?
Don't just become that hamster in the wheel.
Exactly. You know, but you got to get out there, and so many people don't get out there and do anything, you know, or they're in school now till they're 30, a lot of people, you know,
Mm,
and sure, that's when you should be, you know, they don't get this concept. I mean, my nephew, oh, not to be going on about him all of the time, but he's 30 something, and he's still, what am I going to do now? And he just changed job again, and he's going from car. And it's like, oh, I don't get them at all. You know, it's you know, like you said with your father. I mean, I had done pretty much a lot of stuff before I was 20. You know, I've been
mm,
all around the world, and I've done a lot of stuff where a lot of people wouldn't have even. It's they were still in school, or they were, you know, they wouldn't have done anything like that. And it's kind of, it's hard then to look at people that choose a different way, and you say, you know, whose way is right or whose way is wrong, and it's like, well, it doesn't really matter.
it's only
It's
your way.
yeah,
That's the essence of it. It's only your way.
yeah,
You do
but
it your way.
exactly, and that's the only way we can do it. But at the same, at the end of the time, we need to be able to, or typically we'll have discovered, well, what makes me happy, and that's what I do,
Mm.
you know. And you know, especially when you get to the stage where the knees aren't working and the back is tickety dick, and there's a few little things, you know. Uh, yeah, life is good, and it's adventurous. But I was thinking, would I like to go traveling again? I was all set there now before, after Susie died. I was all set to go to Thailand and um, to spend a couple of months there. I had worked out that kind of where I go, 1,000 a month would have covered, you know,
Mm.
everything, bit of accommodation and stuff. And I said I'll stay there for a while, and then it didn't happen. And now I was thinking, I don't think I'd be able to put up with that flight. You know, to go from when you have to walk from, because I'd have to be flying into London, into Heathrow,
Mhm.
and then you've got Terminal 1 to Terminal 5, and it's like it's a hell of a journey. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't be able to walk that journey now anymore. I'd have to get a wheelchair. I'm thinking, jeez, not a good idea. So I'm sort of restricted myself, and I had to sort of pull myself in and says, hang on, hang on, hang on. At this moment in time, physically, I wouldn't be able to do it. But that's not to say, you know, I can work on it because I'm getting stronger every day, out on the bicycle and doing the exercise and getting into the pool.
Mm.
Not to say that this time next year I wouldn't be able to do it, you know. And it's like, don't be putting yourself
Exactly.
into the grave just
If
yet,
that's
you
what
know.
floats your boat, plan your trip for when you know you can do it. And and,
Exactly.
and the other thing that you've reminded me of, and that is the fact that because I did my travels later in life, I was like mid-30s by the time we were doing it. So, but when I came back and all the rest of it, I said, oh, no, I want to go and do it again. I want to go and do it again. I want traveling. I realized I was basically I was addicted to traveling. And then
Mhm.
since I've been ill, I did Malaysia. I did 4 months in Malaysia with Jerome. That was good fun. And Jerome used
Yeah,
to
yeah,
say to me, he goes, "How do you do this?" I said, "How do I do what?" He said, "You just go, thump, you're in there." And he said, "You find your way around, you just talk to people,
yeah,
and he said, you're just like completely at home with it." I said, "Well, yeah, they're just people. Just they might just be around the corner from me, you
yeah,
know."
yeah,
So, and what I realise now is since I've been ill and I haven't been able to do it, I just thought to myself, "Well, okay, well, the travelling bit is just in my head.
yeah,
There's so many places around here where I can meet different people and do different things
yeah, yeah,
that I don't really have to worry too much about it. I would love to travel again. I would
yeah,
adore it, but if I if I got back to Malaysia or somewhere like that now, I wouldn't be able to put up with the heat and I wouldn't be able to get around so much. But
yeah,
I'll get my operation sorted out, I'll get my knee replaced and all the rest of it. I'll go
yeah.
all metal Mickey on myself with a titanium knee or something. Then perhaps I could do it then. So that since then, I've just been looking to, oh, it'd be nice to go there. Oh, it'd be nice to go there. I'm not saying that I get into it and go, oh, it'd be lovely to do this, do that.
Mm,
And just say, oh, that'd be nice. I haven't seen that place before. Or
mm,
even I'd like to revisit some of the places. And I thought to myself, I certainly don't want to go back to the Middle East, mainly because it will disappoint me now. Because
yeah,
I remember it when it was a sand pit
yeah.
and now it's big glitzy stuff. You
Completely
know,
different. Yeah,
full of people going, "Oh, it's so wonderful living here in Dubai."
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Pretentious everywhere. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
but that's it, you know. So, but you're doing already doing the traveling bit, if only in your mind and your heart, with
yeah,
your holy wells and stuff like that. You're exploring where you are now
yeah.
to a large degree, and you can do it so easily now. That yeah, it's good. Traveling is good for your soul and good for your heart.
Yeah.
But
And that, yeah. But that's what you said. That's exactly with the Holy Wells when I was the first thing that was drawing me to again, yeah, it was the traveling around, going to the different places. But I think I just as you were saying it there, yeah, it's I'm doing it by myself, and where I'd really like to have somebody there doing it with me.
yeah, I know
That's
so, like I get moments where I think, oh, that's so funny, and I just sort of turn to my left, and
yeah,
oh yeah, she's not been with me now for 11 years, you know.
yeah, 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 yeah,
But yeah, I miss that sometimes. I now get to the point where I just chuckle to myself, or
yeah,
I
yeah,
look at it and go, yeah, that's interesting, because I there is a lass I've met uh, fairly recently, but it was like sort of I could forward the situation, I'm sure, if I wanted to.
mm,
Then I thought to myself, no, I don't need anything else at the moment. I'm
yeah, yeah,
quite, I've got enough to work on inside myself, let alone work on somebody else as well.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, with you there. But it's amazing. Like when I drove down to Killarney there the other day, it's like when I got into the car and I was heading off, it's like I said, "Yep, here we go again." That's what Susie used to always do. She grabbed my ear and she said, "Here we go again," you know. And so when I got in the car, I did the same thing. Like, well, I didn't pull the ear, but I said, "Here we go again," you know. And just to acknowledging, Susie's thing, and it sort of, I was then able to put a smile on my face and enjoy the
Mm,
trip, and enjoyed it. And I was very glad. By the time I came back home, I was glad that I had done it.
mm.
That it was, yeah. And seeing that there and the mountains, oh, the mountains, it reminded me a little bit about Dublin when I was living in Dublin. And when I'd be getting, I won't say depressed, but getting angst maybe, or just getting the old energy be getting low.
Yeah,
And I
feeling a
used to
bit
get into,
hemmed in.
yeah, I used to get into the car. And as soon as I got to the south side of Dublin, there was a particular road that I went on. that all of a sudden you start seeing the mountains
Mm.
in the distance, and it was a
Like a
felt
sigh of
completely,
relief.
yeah, and it was looking at those mountains there the other day, yesterday, no, like 2 days ago anyway, and it was looking at those mountains. I was like, man, I was thinking, would I ever be able to walk up now? There, it's gas when we talk about mountains. I mean, the even the mountains in England they're they're a lot bigger than what our mountains are. We say mountains are the mountains. That's only a hill. Yeah, but I was there's a lot of the mountains that we have. There's cairns on some of them on the top,
Mm.
or there's crosses. A lot of interesting stuff. And thinking, how the hell would I get up there? And it's like, would I be able to drive up there? And it's like, but it's kind of saying see, I'd like to have the energy and the flexibility to be able to get up to the top of the mountain.
And in the
And to go.
meantime, can I suggest something to you, which I tried ages ago, which was really good fun. Okay, but I got a drone. I got
Ah,
a camera drone.
right.
And literally, I used to love. There's a part of the coast up in Suffolk, uh, which is like famous for not only fossils, but it's just like sort of literally wild beach. You've
Mm,
got Heathland Beach, sea. That's it. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so I got up there a couple of times. I was I sort of little bit of a trot on the beach. It's a shingle beach.
yeah, yeah.
So I sort of I can't do this. I've got to go back to the car. It's a pain in the ass because it's so beautiful there. I'd
Mm,
love to see more of it. So in the end, my it was Josh, my boy, said to me, he goes, "Well, let me get a drone. You like photography and all the rest of it, so get a drone." I suppose. I looked into it. I just got a cheap drone, and I went up there. The next time I went up there, and I flew it along the beach, and I enjoyed it so much that I
mm.
forgot to record the video. It was just lovely because look at that old boat there. There's a sort of remains of a wooden boat. It's
Yeah,
sort of a
yeah.
medium size, I suppose, really a motor cruiser, an old wooden motor cruiser. But it's just like the remains of it there. Then you go further up, and then it's got like this area there, which is like almost like a sort of a mud uh, area where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
tide goes out, and it was just like really lovely, and it was like being there, but
Yeah,
from the added perspective, you could fly high or you could fly low,
yeah, yeah.
and it was just lovely to see. And you're not like look, beaches. Um, it wasn't like sort of. I suppose it's a tourist area, but I go there. I was going there during the week because I wasn't working. So there's nobody down there. And the same
Yeah,
thing with like mountains and stuff like that. If you
yeah,
go
yeah,
there outside of the weekend, you're pretty much guaranteed to have a place to yourself almost. A few dog walkers, maybe. But it was just so nice because I could fly in there, have a look at it from above. So, I didn't even realize it was that big and so beautiful. What's that over there? But also, you can fly down to visual height. So it's almost like you're walking through it. And what you can do
Mm,
with them now, most of them now, you can put them in follow me mode.
all
So
right.
you could walk where you want to walk, and
Yeah, yeah.
and you've got the camera recording you walking, and then what you can then do is say, well, okay, I'll just follow the path up. I'll follow the path up there. I can't walk anymore, and just send the drone up the path at that height, at your height, and just as if you're walking up there.
Mm,
It's quite amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. It was.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But in the end, I had to get rid of it because it was just like because I wasn't getting out. I was getting out less and less, getting to these
Yeah.
nice places. So I was just around towns and stuff like that, and it's incredibly difficult for my soul to be in a town the whole time or a city
Mm,
the whole time. And but I couldn't fly it because everybody's like against drones and privacy issues, and then flight patterns
Yeah, yeah,
and all the rest of it. I just, oh, I don't need all that fuss. I just wanted to have a look at a few beaches, a couple of bits and pieces. So it was it for me. So I got rid of
yeah.
it. But for the time I had it, it was lovely. Like I say, that first time I took it out, I was just in raptures over it.
Mhm,
Uh, so much so that I completely forgot to record any of it.
mhm.
Then I did record a couple of other things, but I just thought, it's the moment I was looking for. I wasn't
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
for the pictures or the video. I was looking for the moment, the feeling.
yeah, yeah. And I suppose like that too. It's we were saying before about the imagination, and in many ways, having that drone, it's kind of where it's like being in Star Trek. That we're zooming me up to the drone,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you become like this is me now,
yeah. I can fly and
flying
everything.
along. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because we I think a lot of people have it. People I've spoken to about it in the past have always uh, a lot of people have agreed with me. Like, so wouldn't it be lovely just to be able to fly for a day, you know, literally,
Yeah,
and just go out there and see everything from a bird's eye perspective.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just wouldn't it be lovely to follow? One of the things I did, which I'd always wanted to do, whether it be by microlight or whatever, I wanted to follow a river
Mm,
from starting as a stream, follow the river for quite a way, and see, because when you see things from, like, if you watch any of I watch the narrowboat programs on TV, when they're living on the narrowboats on the canals of Britain, and
oh, yeah, 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 yeah,
the old industrial areas,
yeah,
country
yeah,
areas of Britain, which you wouldn't see, you can see them from a perspective you'll never see anywhere else, from the
yeah,
rivers and the canals. So I thought, oh, I wanted to do that. And so I took the drone out and I followed this river down. It was just incredible.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
lovely, absolutely lovely. It's like a world that you don't even see from the road and from the footpath.
yeah,
It's a world that you didn't even know existed.
yeah. Because I was kind of having those dreams as well. That wouldn't it be nice to be living on one of them and just sauntering down the river. Um, the canals that we have here in this country, I think there's only you can do the Shannon, which is the river, but the canals they didn't take care of, and they're all overgrown, and they're
Oh yeah,
all
because they were
full of
basically
shit.
they were industrial tools at the time, weren't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, 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 and nobody's taking care of them. I think there's just one place where there's a few people, and it's around Carlow or somewhere like that, and the reason they were doing the program on it was that they were being taxed at it now. Where before you were on one of these boats and you were up, but now you have to pay tax on it, and it's like making everything un not unlivable, but pushing everybody. No, 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 you can't live off the grid. It's illegal.
Yeah,
You
you
can't live
you
on
have
one of
to.
these boats.
It's like they have to suck the joy out of everything.
Absolutely. And it's like, fuck that. There's nobody. You can't. They'd be getting like with the knackers with the horse and the cart and the caravan,
Yeah,
where that's becoming illegal now. You can't. No, 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 you can't have one of them. Mm-mm. You have to pay tax, motor tax or something.
every
It's like,
every time your horse takes a shit, it's an environmental impact. So we'll have to
yeah,
tax
yeah,
you
yeah,
on
yeah.
that.
But it's over here now. There's all of these little saunas which are popped up on all of the beaches and these mobile coffee trucks. Their own small
Hmm.
little scooter things. And fellas trying to, generate a little bit of extra income,
He's thinking
for their
outside
pocket.
the box and trying to generate some income.
They're being taxed now, and they have to say, "Oh, you have to have a license and you have to be registered." Da, da, da. All of a sudden, it's like it's going to cost you money now to make the little extra.
Yeah,
You know,
it's it
ah,
it the elements of control. Uh, is what really gets me, because
Yeah,
we saw it in the Middle East, and that is they started, I said, I think I said the other week,
yeah, on the beach. Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got, you can't come down there unless you've got a license. You have to take out
yeah,
a
yeah,
license each time you're going to go camping. You can't just wake up in the morning and go, let's go and lay in a tent for the night
yeah,
on a
yeah,
beach somewhere. No, but so that those elements of control, they just suck the joy out of everything.
yeah,
That's what I loved about the Southeast Asia. I loved it, in Malaysia and places like that, and Thailand as well, to a large degree. You go there, and there's people just doing what they need to do to survive and be
yeah,
happy. And
yeah. I think in Thailand that's changing now as well. I think it's pretty much changing everywhere now. Um,
yeah,
unless you go to deepest, darkest Africa, where you're out in the you're, you're
yeah,
way out in the boonies. Um,
yeah, because there was a guy I used to know in Georgetown in Malaysia, and he was a dive master. He
mm.
did offshore, uh, like undersea welding and stuff like that. So
All right. Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
a real dive master. He did the
yeah,
most
yeah.
dangerous stuff known to mankind.
Good money in that. Yeah.
And he had a diving company in Cambodia,
Mm.
and he used to sort of pop into town and out of town and all the rest of it. So every time he came over, he used to give me a call and say, "Hey, let's get together." And we had a blast, absolute blast. A brilliant fellow. He was just like, he reminded me a lot. He was a Brummie lad
Mm.
from Birmingham, and he reminded me a lot of the old comedian Jasper Carrott.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it was just like, so everything was a joke, and he was just a lively fella. But anyway, so long story short, so I saw him the last time I saw him. I said, "Oh, what's happening there, mate? How's business?" He goes, "Oh, it's absolute rubbish." I said, "Oh, what do you mean?" He goes, "Oh," he said, "that just Cambodian authorities now are just like sort of everything is like licensed for this, and you've got to have a statement for that, and do this and do that, and do this and do that." He said, I can still make good money at it, but he said, "I'm not doing it just to make good money." He said, "Good money is fine."
Yeah,
He
yeah,
said, "But at the end of the day," he said, "it used to be a joy, an absolute joy to do business there and solve people's problems
yeah,
in
yeah.
difficult diving situations." And he said, "But now it's just like sort of it's."
That's all
He said,
hassle.
"I
Yeah.
know why they're doing it." And he said, "And I applaud them to some degree." He said, "Because they're trying to generate stuff for the Cambodian people
Mm.
rather than outsiders coming in and owning all the businesses
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Cambodians being employed by them. They want,
yeah,
to encourage like entrepreneurship, if you like, in the locals." He said, "But it's just like sucked all the joy out of me." He said, "I hate the hell out of it." He said, I'm just going to close it up." The latest one is, he said, they 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 gave me a license to have this company. He said, "But then I have to have a different form of license for each project." So he said, somebody comes to me and said, "Oh, I've got a ship that's over there. I need this doing." Or, "I've got a lake over here or a river over here and I need this doing." He said, each situation, I had to get a license to do that project. And he said, a bunch of people not knowing what they were asking, but asking me in-depth questions about the job, and me having to give them like an in-depth review of everything I had to do and the safety measures and all the rest of it. He said, it's just, they just sucked all the joy out of it. He said, they
yeah,
don't know what they're doing, but they know they know why they're doing it, but they don't know what they're doing.
yeah, yeah,
So he said, it's the world's full of that, and you're right. Everywhere is like it now.
yeah,
I started seeing it in Malaysia a little bit when I was there, and it was just about the fact that you had in Malaysia you had the national hospitals, the government hospitals, if you like, which treat anybody.
yeah,
Okay, and yeah, it was like the NHS, where you might be waiting longer, or they wouldn't give you a test because it costs too much and stuff like that. Or then you had like purely private hospitals where you had to have insurance or you had to pay the bill. If you like, had to have cash available, and that was still cheap by European standards, but it was like expensive by their
mm.
standards. And then they sort of got to the point where, oh no, everybody has to have health insurance now.
Mm.
But certain levels of health insurance, you can only go to certain levels of hospital. So
Yep.
as you buy the gold package, which costs your arm and a leg, you can go to any hospital you like and get instantaneous results.
Mm.
And everybody was going, I've not been to hospital one day in my life. I'm 46 years old now. So
Mm.
why should I pay for a package each year
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
gives me the gold standard of treatment that I don't require?
Mm. Yeah, it's a tricky one, and I mean that's the thing. I mean, here in this country, they're encouraging everybody to get health insurance,
Hmm.
and the same thing again. That they got the two-tier hospitals. You know that if you got the top of the job, yeah, private hospital over there for you, and if you're otherwise
My,
you're waiting over there for years. You know.
my short time in France, I say short time in France, over about 18 months, uh, in Limoges, they pretty much had it set up quite well there. And then basically what it is the government gives 70%, covers 70%, and you take out insurance for healthcare. And you can take out insurance for the other 30%. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you go to any hospital, any doctor, okay, and pay the bill. And then you claim it back from the insurance company.
Yeah.
Okay, so you pay for the 30%, then you claim that 30% back from the insurance company. And at first I said, oh, hold on a second, that's a scam. They'll never pay with the bills. And the last I was with then, Ursula, she said, oh yeah, they'll pay it. So, so
Mm.
much so that she used to use this doctor because I was out there and I had a real problem with what it was now. I think it was the early problems with my knee. Uh, so we're going to see my cousin, who's a doctor, the other side of Limoges. I said,
Mm.
oh, okay. I said, what do I do about payment? She goes, oh, don't worry about that. She said, I'll call him. So she called him directly. We went over to see him. And so he said, oh, yeah, you need to do this, this, and this, you need these things. I said, what's the bill? He said, and Ursula said, oh, it's all right, I'm paying the bill. I said, no, you can't do expect to pay for bills. She goes, no, no, this consultation has been with me. So, and she said, I'll claim it back from my insurance, the
Mm.
30% back from my insurance, and they pay every time. So I thought, well, that's quite. It was quite a clever system. I know
Mm.
it's still a two-tier system to a large degree, but it's slightly better. At least they've found a good thing. In Australia, they have what they call I think it's the Green Cross or something like that, which is basically you and your employer make contributions into it, and then you're covered, like as if you were in the NHS.
Oh yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah, so that works pretty well as well. But the whole thing is like it's this regulation thing. It always got to me, and now I just think, well, no matter whether I worry about it, shit's going to happen,
Mm.
and no matter how much I whinge about it, shit's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because
Uh,
look at us at the moment, we got this dodgy dipstick Burnham now, who's basically Keir Starmer in a different set of free glasses,
mm.
uh, wearing t-shirts. What a dick. You're in business, mate. You are the prime minister on the world circuit. You don't wear t-shirts for a living. you're not some half-assed semi-professional footballer.
Well, like you said, maybe just being himself, that's exactly what you got. Yeah.
And I love it though because when did politicians all over the world when did politicians become so thick? When did they
Mm.
dumb down the necessities of being a politician? You know, you've got to speak a few good words and spin a bit on the internet. And
Mm.
apart from that, don't worry about plans and shit like that. We've got people that
Yeah.
do that already. You know, in the UK anyway, you've got civil service. It's bloated beyond belief.
Mm.
And so people making the decisions are not the people you voted in. People making
No,
the decisions are very highly paid people who've
yeah,
never done a stroke of work in their lives.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the same here. It's all civil servants, and they're all no accountability. Uh, Nobody's responsible for anything. You know, you kick it
Mhm.
down the street or push it over to the next
Everybody's
guy.
got slopey shoulders,
Yeah,
cascades like water off a duck's back, don't it?
yeah, yeah.
The amazing thing is, I was watching the other day that they're talking now like the world stage is going about Ireland or era, should I say, being on the verge of civil war because people are fighting back against it all.
Oh, hmm.
But it's just
I,
quite often it's the case when people say it's like when I was in Dubai, people are going, "Oh, we see now that like this when the second action was happening, 95, 96 or whatever it was, in Iraq, when that's all kicked off. What's it like over there at the moment? Well, same as it was yesterday, bloody hot.
mm.
It's finished, you know.
But that's the thing too. I suppose it reminds me a lot of when I'd be ringing home, and especially when was I going out? It was the time California was having a lot of earthquakes,
Hmm.
and I was over there, and it was like I'd be ringing home. Oh, is everything okay? Were you damaged in the earthquake? And I said, miles away from the earthquake, nothing to do with me. But they think it's you were right around the corner from it, right in the middle of it,
Yeah, it's a
They-
country. It's not a village. It's a country.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Bloody big country too, yeah. Yeah.
It is surprising though because it's like there's so much is happening, and the internet really is a how can I put it? It's like a big magnifying glass on things,
Mm,
and because people can have opinions in various different directions, right across the spectrum, from hyper positive to hyper negative,
yeah.
and everything in between. Uh, you never really everything, including the BBC say, "Oh, lack of bias," and all this, but everybody is biased in some way,
Yeah.
and there's
But
no. But for me, I find it difficult to instead of trying to filter it, which I can't do. I can't filter out the stuff that I feel is correct, so I don't bother with it anymore. I just don't listen
yeah,
to it anymore.
yeah. And you're probably better off. But it's the same the last week, and just the way, the feed comes up on YouTube or one of these things. And so I saw this one, and it's like, and they were talking about why is Ireland so anti-Semitic? And I'm thinking, I said, I have to look at this. And this one going on about, oh, the Irish, they don't like the Jews and blah, 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 blah. And however, and I was like, what a load of crap. It's anti-war is what they are,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's like nothing to do with,
Situation by situation, mate.
yeah, nothing to do with their religion. It's anti-war, but you
Oh,
say anything about,
sorry, mate. Excuse me a second.
go
My
for
boy
it.
on the phone. Hello, mate. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. I'm just on a Zoom call at the moment. Is it something I can call you back on? Okay, mate. I'll give you a buzz in a short while. Love you. Look, bye. Yeah, he just wants to chat. I think.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's gas that people miss the whole thing, and they because they happen to be Jews that are in there creating havoc with the Palestinians
Hmm.
and annihilating them and all the rest of it. Now, you say something about it, you're anti-Semitic. I was like, fuck yeah.
To be quite honest with you, this is leading into my big bugbear at the moment, and that is that everybody assumes because they've got this plethora, this smorgasbord of opinion and information floating around in the ether, okay, and everybody's got access to it, or virtually everybody's got access to it. They seem to believe now that they're bright enough to understand fully everybody's intent with what they say and do. Okay. Like if I walking down the road, okay, and I see I don't know, a bit of wood in the road. Think, oh, that might be dangerous. I'll pick it up. I'll put it to one side. They'll look at that and they'll go, depending on how they feel that particular day. Oh, look, I can see what he's doing there. He's trying to litter that piece of wood onto somebody's piece of land rather than it lay out there in public. And it's got nothing to do with the intent, but they seem to understand. They like to say, "Oh, you Irish are anti-Semitic." Okay, so like that's like everybody in Ireland, is it? And you know exactly what they're thinking, and you know exactly why they're doing what they're doing. We can all see what people are doing, but we can't understand behind the scenes why they're doing it or what they're doing it for. So, and this is bugbear and everything. It's like when I said this non-hate crime incident or whatever they call it. You know, where they say so, you've got to check your thinking because you put out you put out this tweet or this bloody thing on YouTube and it offended somebody. Well, okay, well, I'm sorry if somebody got offended, but that's their problem.
Yeah.
They
This is
don't
it.
know what my intent.
Yeah,
My intent was not to go out there and find that one particular person and tell them they're an idiot.
yeah. But that's the other thing. Like nasty people out there who might happen to be Jews, and a nasty person is a nasty person, and so they're going to be treated.
Hmm.
They get back to their own thing. But now all of a sudden, oh, because you're treating that one bad, the whole lot of them are bad. So
Yeah,
all of a sudden, you see, you're anti-Semitic to all us Jews, and it's like, no, just you fucking asshole.
Having been on ships, you'll understand this, but everybody seems to have a flag of convenience when it comes to
Yeah.
complaining.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
oh yeah, my the last Donna I used to share the house with, her boyfriend. Suddenly, we're in a situation where an argument ensues about somebody Jewish, who happened to be Jewish. Okay, and suddenly he goes, "Well, I know better than that. I'm Jewish." And so, okay, so you being Jewish, you know better about the situation you weren't even party to. It's like a flag of convenience to just say, okay, I'm relevant to this situation or this discussion because I'm this or I'm that, or I saw this or I've done that. So it's just that thing. I suppose it's a search for relevance, isn't it? Really?
Probably, but an excuse to be honorary as well. And I think there's too many people out there looking for an excuse to complain about something or to get on the hobby horse
Yeah.
about something, to complain about. Some people love to complain, and it's like, yeah,
I shocked somebody at the council the other day because they were really helpful. Okay.
mm,
And I'm in council accommodation. So I spoke to them about it. They got it all sorted out for me. I said, "Oh, thank you very much indeed." I said, "Can I also say, this is this telephone call recorded?" And she said, "Yeah, yeah." I said, "All right, okay. Can you also, pass this on to your management, okay? That thank you very much indeed for being so helpful. You don't have to be that helpful, but you are helpful." I said, "You've really sorted it out for me. Thank you very much indeed. You're an example. Your council is an example to other councils." And she was like sort of taken aback. She went, oh, thank you very much. I said, "Well, I know that it's, usually when somebody wants to talk to you about something, they want to complain about something."
yeah.
I said, "So the times you get compliments are microscopic in compared
Yeah.
to the times you get not only insults but also sort of complaints about stuff." And you're just, you're right now. You're just the voice of the council. You
Yeah.
don't make all the decisions. You're just doing your job, and you've done it very well indeed, and you've been very nice at it. So, and that's the thing. It is so easy. This, and it all started out really for me badly when in health and safety said we welcome complaints because that's how we get better. Then everybody went on with the same rhetoric. Oh, we welcome complaints because that way we can improve ourselves. No, you don't welcome complaints. All you want to do is shut complaints down. But as part of your licensing and all the rest of the control that's in place,
Yeah.
you have to say that.
Yeah.
And you
looks
say
good.
in your mission, everybody says in the mission statement, we're customer focused.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but what are you? Are you positive customer focused or are you negative customer focused?
Mm. Yeah, yeah. No,
Oh
they're
dear.
good for changing the meaning for all of these things. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
anyway, well, I better shoot through, mate. Have a word with my boy.
yeah. Do
So,
that.
thanks for banging the world to rights again with me.
No problem. I get this over to you as soon as it's done.
Perfect, mate. Perfect.